Hi, my name is Nat Pressley, and I'm currently pursuing a double major in environmental science conservation and vocal performance, as well as a possible minor in musical theater performance.
My name is Sunny, and I'm currently a marketing major.
My name is Aidyn Fischli, and I am currently undecided, but I am interested in pursuing a major in international studies and a minor in English.
Hey y'all, I'm Zoey, and I'm currently undecided, but I am thinking about being an environmental studies major.
I am interested in being an actress and pursuing a career in professional musical theater.
Yes, I'm interested in becoming a lawyer, but also I want to be a marketing manager for a magazine, though.
I'm interested in becoming a news reporter for news outlets like CNN, where they have global coverage and foreign correspondence, but I'm also interested in possibly becoming a researcher that works with think tanks and writes studies and analyses of international studies.
A job that I am highly interested in is being an educator in the environmental studies field, specifically on conserving the resources available.
Sort of what that would look like for me would be going to auditions almost every day, always being at rehearsal for one or more projects, memorizing lines and music and scene work, and just being able to perform on multiple different stages, different events, constantly be training, constantly be learning, and taking every sort of artistic opportunity that comes your way.
So my daily tasks would be talking to clients, engaging in meetings, give good advice, especially if I want to become a lawyer, drafting contract, and a lot of writing.
Daily tasks and responsibilities would include keeping in contact with foreign correspondents and writing and editing articles and news pieces I would be working on, keeping up to date on global news around the world, and hopefully traveling.
Daily tasks that I would have to do within this career are being able to evaluate data and patterns and applying this to find solutions for conserving the environment.
I hope to get a BA in music performance, and I'm also open to getting a BFA in musical theater if that's the route that I'm going to, and even a master's, but hopefully my career will be strong enough by then that I will have too many opportunities to continue going to school, and I'll just have to take those full time.
So thinking about this question brings me a lot of stress because basically I have to complete 6 more years of education and training in order to become a lawyer. At that point, I will have a doctorate degree.
I plan on graduating with a bachelor's degree and possibly returning for a master's degree depending on the career I choose to pursue.
I am hoping to get my bachelor's degree in Earth and Environmental Studies.
I am interested in this field because it is just something that I've always loved and always had a passion for and always had a fire for, that I just know every day when I wake up that this is what I need to be doing. So I'm very, very dedicated and very, very invested in musical theater.
I want to be a lawyer because when I was little, my mom was under a lot of stress to complete immigrant document, and I didn't help that much because I have no clue, and it's so hard to find help everywhere else. So if I become a lawyer, I will help my family and also other family who has been in the same situation as I did.
I am interested in this field because I grew up going to a language magnet school, kindergarten through 12th grade. So I'm used to learning all about different countries and being around different cultures and just having a lot of influence of different countries in my life. And I like learning about how different countries interact with each other and how this affects humans globally.
The reason I'm interested in this field is because I'm very passionate about it. Without the earth, we have nothing. So humanity and its relationships with the environment must be monitored.
I sort of had realized that I've wanted to do this ever since I was a very young age, elementary school really. And since then I've had jobs that normal teenagers have in retail and in food service, and have been doing extra work in town as well. So it's not super related to what I eventually want to do, but it's a great thing to work on while I'm training.
So I decided that I want to be a lawyer, believe around high school, because I started to watch more TV show about Elwood in that pink outfit. But yeah, I watch a lot of movie, and I felt like I found an interest in debate, argument, because I'm very good at argument. If you argue with me, you will not win, and I believe that. So that's why I want to be a lawyer. And also I want to help my mom with filling out paperwork and document.
Like I said previously, I only recently got into international studies this semester, so I'm still not sure if it's what I'm going to pursue, but I think that my interest in different countries and different cultures plays a big role in my interest in international studies.
I'm hoping that with taking courses related to this field, I will be able to have a better understanding of it and understand more solutions and ways that I can better the earth.
Some people that helped me along the way are, of course, Professor King in the voice department has been teaching me ever since I was very young and sort of accepting me as a full performer and seeing my potential and helping that grow. I've, of course, been to many summer programs at Interlochen, Walnut Hill School for the Arts, Appalachian State, and the professors there have just sort of really helped me to look at art in a whole new light and see myself as an artist in so many different ways that it's really I've taken such a valuable piece of information from all of them. So I would say I have many influential people that have supported this decision.
So lately I have been looking up to AOC. She's a congresswoman, and I admire her confidence in speaking up for herself and other people, and the way she treated our community compared to other government officials.
I only recently got into international studies this semester, but I would say that the most influential person in my major for me has been Dr. Masters. He's a professor of international studies here at UNC Wilmington, and he's the one I conducted my interview with, and he gave me a ton of information and advice about majoring in international science.
The most influential person that made me choose this career is my aunt, because when I was at a very young age, she educated me on the harmfulness of plastics to the environment, and this was a turning point in my life.
My favorite things about doing musical theater and having that be my profession are being able to work with new people all of the time that you get to form really special professional relationships with, and being able to just be around all of that talent and all of that passion is a really great and uplifting energy to have in your life, as well as, of course, having the opportunity to do what I love every day, which is singing, dancing, and acting, which are the things that bring me the most joy in life. So of course it would be amazing to be able to support myself and be able to build a life by just being able to do what makes me happy. In terms of mental health, there are some potential drawbacks, of course, to being a performer, because there's so much criticism and there are a lot of people that have to make choices about who they want in their projects, and there's so little spots for so many people that it's just something where you're going to get a lot of rejection no matter what, and that's super hard on someone's personal mental health, especially if they struggle with confidence. But in order to sort of combat this, I try to keep a balanced portion of my life, of course, between environmental science and potentially activism and reading and just my schoolwork for academics. It just sort of puts value to me as a person and as an individual that isn't necessarily related to my musical ability or talents, which is super important for keeping my identity and continue to do what I love and be competitive in a field while still acknowledging that I'm doing my best and being my best self, even if there is that rejection.
The thing I enjoy the most about this job is being able to help other people, especially immigrants like myself, compared to that financial packet that we all complain about. The immigrant paperwork are much more complicated and expensive. I just wish that I can help them to have a better time and also save some of their money. The most challenging thing about this is probably me completing my education, because this environment is very competitive, and all the things you do and all the things you have to remember is humongous. And all the exam that I'm currently complaining about will be much more complicated and weigh much more in law school. So it's on me.
My favorite thing and the most challenging thing really go hand in hand, because you're able to make a difference in this world by educating more people, but at the same time it's a struggle because you feel that if not everyone's doing it, then there's not going to be a change, but everyone has to do their part.
Some things I'd consider necessary for a person to have in my chosen profession would be extrovertedness, being able to communicate with others, being able to take chances with others and trust them right away without necessarily knowing them or knowing a lot about what you're doing. You just sort of have to be able to throw yourself into these situations and be flexible. And you also just have to be super creative and open-minded in terms of what you think about the art that you're going to be creating and how you take in art from other people and how you take in criticism about what you're doing. It's just super important to keep that positive attitude and keep that endurance, because sometimes you're the only person that's going to be able to lift yourself up and see the good in some of the work that you or others make. So it's just, you have to have a really strong heart and a strong sense of self, I think, are the most important things.
I believe a good lawyer is someone who can adapt to different environments, good at analyzing paper, reading, and also writing. And most of them are independent worker, so they are required to have a schedule and also a balance between work and social life.
I would consider some necessary attributes of being a reporter to be being a good writer, to educate the public on things that are happening around the globe. You have to be good with words, and you have to be able to write in an efficient and effective way to educate your audience.
Someone must be very determined in order to succeed in this field, and they must be passionate about it, because if you don't like what you're doing every day in your career, then what's the point? The scholarly article that my group reviewed highlights students struggling with mental health, having a much harder time transferring out of college, and how this is a major struggle for them. And it presents two studies. The first one I definitely like more because it highlights the emotions that are evoked when students are faced with financing, housing, and just full independence.
So my first question was that I read on UNCW's International Studies page that you have a doctoral degree in political science, and I was wondering if you were always interested in majoring in political science, or did you at any point switch a major?
Oh, I did switch my major. Well, I added a major. So when I was an undergraduate, I started off as history, and I was moving through that. My interest, though, I started to realize was much more in the area, when it came to history, was much more in the area of political history. So I started pulling in some political science. Plus, I initially, at that point in my life, my goal and interest was foreign service. And so I was doing a specific kind of set of classes that were designed for people who wanted to pursue careers in the foreign service. Took me into a lot of political science, sociology, geography, things like that. And I then started realizing that political science kind of matched my interests a lot more at that point in time. But I was so far along in history, I just didn't let it go. I just went ahead and kept it.
Yeah. Understandable. So when you were majoring, were you always interested in becoming a professor, or are you not sure?
No, I had no idea this is what I wanted to do.
That's what I feel like I hear most of the time.
Yeah, no, I was wrapping up my master's degree, and I had moved to Central Florida, Orlando, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what do you do with a master's in political science? What are the options? And so I knew that some people had taught like intro level courses at universities and community colleges with a master's. So I just put around a resume just to see what happened. And it so happens that the University of Central Florida was in desperate need to have somebody come in and fill in some classes, as well as a couple of other local community colleges. They brought me in, and after spending a summer in complete panic mode trying to figure out how to develop a course, I got in there, and after about 2 weeks, it's kind of like, oh, this is it. This is what I love doing this. So yeah, it was more like I fell into it.
Yeah.
And fell in love with it.